Shoe time. I got the New Balance. I know that's the only reason you guys tune in, is to find out what shoe I'm actually putting on today. Well, I am putting New Balance Barefoot Trail. I forget the Trail Glove is what they're called. They were New Balance's effort to match the minimalist crowd that was huge after the book Born to Run came out. Nowadays, things have swung to the opposite side. Everyone is wearing maximum cushion, which isn't necessarily good for you. It might feel good if you got some issues, back issues, knee issues, hip issues. That doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you because now you're masking the pain. If you have back issues, knee issues, ankle, hip, you're better served running in a minimalist barefoot style shoe because now you can feel the impact and you can lighten the load. If you don't feel the impact, you just keep pounding away with improper form. Running lesson 101. I don't talk about running all that much anymore.
I put a diffuser in my living room.
It's like a certain aspect of my life, the racing, the mega miles that I used to put in almost on a daily basis, running 2-3 times a day, um, vanished with COVID and the when my dad entered the final few years of his life and needed more care, more time. Uh, it began to feel I loved getting out there. Trail running saved my life. When my wife came back, hey Goldie. When my wife, hey Daniel says hi. How are you today? New Zealand, welcome. Yes, good morning, Neil. My wife came back from a year tour in Iraq. She was in the Air Force, and she wanted a divorce. My mom was in final days of Alzheimer's. My dad recovering from a stroke. I would have the time that I had when I wasn't training someone. I was out on the trails, weekends, sometimes 7, 8, 9 hours, just moving and moving and moving, pausing in certain places. I felt like Carlos Castaneda would call them power places. Hey, just Jessica. Kat says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Lee. Hey, William. I'm still getting to recognize people's names here. I don't like this. I'm sure it serves a purpose. I'm sure, YouTube knows what they're doing. Far be it from me to, you know, second guess YouTube. This just seems like an unnecessary step, doesn't it? Am I alone in this? I don't think so. Kat says, oh, hi, Yogi. Oh, hi, Kat. I've seen the self-supportive shoes for work and labor jobs, but running commercials and such, I see them advertising near barefoot themed shoes. I think if you are, just Jessica, welcome, my friend. I know I said hi. I just wanted to say hi again. Love you, my friend. Cat says meow. She's sitting there staring at me. Like you will give me what I want eventually if I just stare at you long enough. Yeah, I think the maximum cushion shoes. If you're on your feet all day, they can be a bit of a blessing. But if you're running, if you're walking long distances, you need to feel the ground beneath you. Eric says, what happened, Eric? It was buffering for me because I refreshed. Oh, nothing happened. Oh, that YouTube has its new handle thing. Good morning, Lucy. So anyway, yeah, running on the trails saved my life. Literally. I did not know what I was going to do. Everything just felt hollow. I'd spent a year, that year, 2008 to 2009, going through the entirety of the workbook and reading the entire text of the Course in Miracles. And it did bring me quite a bit of help. But but it wasn't integrated yet. There were some things that just felt not unforgivable. Forgiving other people never seemed an issue, but uh, holding myself responsible, let me rephrase that, blaming myself. Um, that was another matter entirely. The day my father had a stroke, I was coming back from a kettlebell certification. 2000, I think it was 2004, something. And I got a call from my sister as we were driving back that my father had a stroke and I was away. And of course, even practicing Course in Miracles, so much blame. I shouldn't have been away. I saw him that morning that we left. We drove to Ohio, did the kettlebell cert, and we drove back. I should have recognized the signs. I saw him that morning. And of course, all of us go through life second guessing and blaming. All blame is self-blame. Even if we have projected it upon another and we don't recognize it, it's still self-blame. Do you know why? Cat knows why. What would Ramana Maharshi say? Which goes also to piggyback on the conversation we were having over at Cats about knowing ourselves. That's the path of jhana yoga. Jhana, jhana. Self-reflection, self-study. It's the path of self-inquiry, where we ask, speaking of Ramana Maharshi, of which we were, hey Tandra, his self-inquiry was asking ourselves, who am I? My friend Gary Weber wrote a couple of really good books. He would practice, and he liked it better. He would ask, where am I? Or when am I? It's a great reflection. When am I? Because then we come to the only answer that can possibly be. Now. When am I? I'm now. I'm now. I'm not in the past. I'm never in the future. When am I? Now. If I'm now, if I'm in the now, then who am I? Who am I that is in the now? And the thing is, with self-inquiry, you don't ask for an answer, you ask for the asking. And the consistency of not knowing. If anyone says, I know exactly who I am and I'm going to tell you, don't listen. Because they will give you a concept. I am love. It's a wonderful poetic expression. But as soon as you say I am love, you've often confined version of what we can consider love is. This is why in A Course in Miracles they say we say love is or God is and then walk away, remain silent, because any answer given is just going to be a conceptual. That's not necessarily bad. The ones who do it the best are the poets, the mystics. This is why, Meister Eckhart, the eye in which I see God is the same eye in which God sees me. Poetic, seamless, but still a concept. So we use words. We have to. So way back to the conversation about me being on the trails, I would pound the trails and I would ask, who am I and why am I suffering? How could I get through the, I haven't seen Shirley yet, Kat. Hey, Anna. Good morning, Anna. It's nice to see you, my friend. Tandra, I hope you're having a good day. How could I spend the entire year and a previous 15 years before studying A Course in Miracles and not know who I am? Because the Course doesn't tell you who you are. The Course reveals to you who you are. I love referring to the fact that A Course in Miracles, the same as the Tao Te Ching, the same as the Bhagavad Gita, the Dhammapada, the Upanishads, they are holographic. So if you understand one little sentence, you understand the entirety of the Course. Let me get right here to the introduction. I love the fact that right here, the course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all encompassing can have no opposite. So, what the Course does, it does not teach you who you are, it removes the obstacles, the barriers to keep you from knowing who you are. And that's important. So, this is why I'm not really big on the self improvement movement. I'm not saying it's bad, but what we're improving, what we aim to improve, is just another version, a stronger version, a more self assured version of the ego. Puffs us up a little bit. I'm a better version of the self that I was yesterday. It's still a self, and who you truly are is selflessness itself. You're not a self. Alan Watts would say you are selfing. You're a verb. You're not a noun. When we say a better version of a self, we are creating a fixed image of who we wish and who we believe we are. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be 1% better than that version of a version of a version, infinitely so. But it's still a version. It's not who you truly are. Now, a improved sense of self can help us navigate a fictional world. It can help us navigate the illusion. The key is you can do that. You can do all of that. And there's nothing the matter with that. But know that you're doing that. Just know that you are doing that. Smile at it. Know that all you're actually doing is fortifying an ego, unless you're bringing some awareness. Let's say self-awareness. Awareness of that imaginary self. And when you can do that, everything begins to change completely on its own. William says, the tag names have been a new feature in testing for at least 2 years, and doesn't seem like the host gets a setting to use. No, I don't care for it. He says, in the spirit of checking in, is Big Al okay? He popped in. Seems quieter without him around. He popped in. He popped in Thursday. Popped in Friday night. Tandra says good. And it says, good morning to Seb. Thank you. And happy Sunday to you and to everyone. Happy Sunday to you. Kat says, am I in contact? I have her email. Yes. Would like me to send something? Would like me to convey something? As a matter of fact, I got an email from her this morning and I already replied. And I'm happy to, if you would like me to. And it says, how are you today, Yogi? I am one shoe on, one shoe off kind of morning. I'm glad you asked, because that reminded me to put my other shoe on. You would think, and maybe you are thinking it, well, he wouldn't get far with one shoe on and one shoe off. And my answer to that is, oh, you would be surprised. Let's see. Lee says, hope Skits is okay. Yep, he spent some time with us yesterday. I felt sorry for him with the dog. I hope his landlord is supporting him with the cost of the dog. It doesn't seem that he is. Kat says, maybe some hurt feelings this morning. Yeah, I was a witness to that. I want to make sure that she is okay. I will convey that, Kat. And thank you for caring so much. Thank you for being Kat. I'm thankful for that every day. In a universe of infinite potentiality of manifestation, I just do a bunch of really big words to make it sound like I'm make it sound like I'm smarter and wiser than I actually am. In a world of um, infinite potentiality of manifestation, where anything can come into being, I am infinitely grateful that the universe has manifested Cat, and that the world has manifested, the universe has manifested Jack as her companion, someone to hang out with. And together, they make Cat and Jack one of the best, one of the most awesome YouTube channels out there. Don't believe me? Go over and hang out and watch the shorts. Lee says Skits will never ask for anything. As well, he's so humble. I'm here to help if he needs anything. Me too, Lee. And I will extend that to him as well. And I did get your email. I will reply, and I will share that with him. Lee, every time we talk, it makes me keep thinking that I need to figure out how to get what app again, or I like to call it what app yo. What app yo? Hey, Jace. Cat says thanks, Yogi. Always, Cat. Always. You just made me wish that I could say something really sweet and romantic in another language. I couldn't think of a thing to say. I couldn't think of a thing that I could pronounce. And I don't know any other language. I know words in certain languages. I know like Sanskrit words. But I can mispronounce something romantic just as easily in English as I can in a foreign language, actually easier. So that brief consideration, that flash, that brief inspiration that passed across my mind, I let go of. And then I thought, you know what? If I just explain it, don't I get credit for thinking it? Don't I get credit for thinking I wanted to do this? Probably not. Probably not. Lisa says, love hanging out with Kat. Such a lovely person. I'm her little YouTube sister. Love you, Kat. But what a beautiful explanation. Thank you for that, Lucy. And it says, good morning, Jace. Lee says, Jace, say good morning. Our lovely friend. Cat's laughing and says you do. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Hey, Red House. So, speaking of holographics, I was way back ago. Way back ago really should be an expression, right? Can we make that happen today? Can somewhere today, can you fit that in a conversation and let me know later? Hey, Kat, when you're at work, if someone says, hey, Kat, did you do this? And you can say, yes, I did it way back ago. And let me know if we can get that to catch on. Anyway, way back ago, I was talking holographic. One essence. It's the same. You can pick up the Tao Te Ching and one little thing, and it will contain the whole. It's been about a year since I've been doing the 5 a.m. live streams. And I started off reading, the Tao Te Ching. William probably remembers. We spent 81 days, a chapter a day. I would have a selection. And there's a lot of repetition in spiritual books for a reason. You could say that entire Course in Miracles is just a repetition of a single idea. And here's the single idea. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. If at any time you feel threatened by what words... Kat says, I'll do my best way back ago. Mission accepted. Red Nose says, good day. Morning, Bill. Morning to you, Red Nose. Thank you so much. Let me bring up your channel real quick. So this is our friend Pinky. Pinky, appreciate you being here. Red Nose is the handle, of course. I don't like referring to people as like their handle as part of their at. I like the name. People have worked hard coming up with the right title for their channel, and it deserves to be highlighted. So this is our friend Pinky. You can find Pinky at rednose1978. And by the way, she has 393 subscribers. I bet you if there are 7 people in here who aren't subscribed to her, we could get her to 400 subscribers like in a second, in a nanosecond. Pinky is a hard worker. As a matter of fact, right in her channel description, says work is her middle name. I love my YouTube friends. Every single one of you. For whatever reason you guys come in here. Where it says, when I say, I think of saying that the road is hell is paved with good intentions, I remember the Tao readings. So yeah, we went from reading the Tao Te Ching, then I think I went to the Bhagavad Gita, and then I read, and I keep threatening to do so again, about 2 weeks of reading my book, Does God Have a Hero? It seems kind of presumptuous for me to fit my own book in with the Tao Te Ching and the Bhagavad Gita, Course in Miracles. But it all comes from the same source. All of it. Every single word I've ever written comes from the same source as the Tao Te Ching, the Bhagavad Gita, which literally means the Song of God, and A Course in Miracles. If it is not in the same league as those books, it is not the fault of the source, it's the fault of my own inability to listen clearly, which has improved considerably in the 26 years since I wrote that book, which I wrote about this morning, which I will also share. See the way I tied that all together? Here's what I wrote this morning. My only true prayer. A continuous prayer now. A communion of silence without need to vocalize a request beyond my wish for peace. Oops. Sorry. I don't want to read that. I want to read what I wrote this morning. That's what I wrote yesterday. It's still on the theme of prayer. I'm listening. Finally now. As my life becomes more prayerful, there is a grace to each request. Not wishing for things to be granted, but just an acceptance of each moment as it's given. My prayer is for the communion itself, and with this, my every wish is received. In Song of Prayer, Course in Miracles, the pamphlet that follows the Course in Miracles, it talks about the ladder of prayer. The lowest rung of the ladder, we are asking for stuff. God, I really need a parking space. God, I really need this, that, whatever. Hey, Shirley. I'm glad you're here, my friend. Hey, Skits, I'm glad you're here. Hey, Evan. Evan says, why are you up so early? Where have you been, Evan? I'm always up this early. I've been up for, what time is it? It's almost 5:30. Been up for 3 hours. I've gotten stuff done. I've plowed the fields, man. I've milked the cows. I've fed the chickens. Don't tell Kat I fed the chickens. Because if I visit, she's going to be like, well, you said you fed the chickens. Get up and feed the chickens. Nope. I would feed the chickens. I have fed chickens before. Yeah, I plowed the back 40. Washed the cats. Milked the dog. All that stuff. What have I missed? Everyone's saying hi. Hey, William, you know what? It was, I'm thinking about those early mornings last summer, reading the Tao. You're a great company, my friend. You're a great company. You are insightful. You ask key questions. You don't always accept things at face value. You want to know, and you want to know, and you want to know. Um, I appreciate that. Like I said, I appreciate your company and your friendship. One of the highlights of my year so far, William showing up at my doorstep, refusing to accept all the bananas that I was trying to force upon him. I didn't get your message yet. I don't have my messenger up. I've been a very quiet, contemplative morning. I'm going to get out in just a little bit. I don't see any messages, Jace. My last message from you was 3 days ago, and it was a big old thumbs up. Sorry. Why did I just get suddenly fascinated with my looming thumb? The answer to that is because I'm weird. But here's a question. What's weirder? Me being fascinated at my big old thumb in front of the camera? Or you guys watching me at 5:30 in the morning, for some of you 4:30 in the morning, watching me watching my big ass thumb? What's weirder, me or you? The answer is you. Lee says, I'm looking forward to Christmas with you all. We had a good time last Christmas. I always know your time and temp, Jace. Jace says, all you have to do is think about it. My thumb? Joey says, I found a website. Let's see. Oh, yep, you did. I need to share it. I want to share it with Skits and with Jace. Skits says, Shirley actually slept great. Thank you. Did you? Awesome. I'm glad you all slept well. We're going to head out in just a minute, guys. So I did manage to fit in reading a little bit from A Course in Miracles, and we talked about my thumb. We talked about milking dogs and washing cats and plowing fields, and saying romantic things in languages we can't pronounce. Typical 5 a.m. Who knows what we're going to talk about, but it's going to be weird conversations. Cat's going to fit in to the way back ago sometime today. I can't wait. Can't wait to hear how that goes. I'm going to head out and I'm going to walk 3, maybe 4 miles. We'll see what nature tells me to do. It all goes to what we were talking about, what I wrote about and what I just read. My ability to listen. More and more, though, that is my only prayer. Can I pause and can I listen? Can I not force my own point of view? Can I not always be requesting what's in it for me, but ask, how may I serve? How may I serve? How may I serve? And can I hear the answer more clearly? Hey, Muhammad, my friend. Muhammad, our friend. First day of holiday for 1 week. I was doing my work. I miss y'all. Guys, I love y'all. We love you too, Muhammad. Enjoy your week holiday. Where will you be? Lucy says, see y'all later, Yogi Eric. See you, Lucy. I will see you. I'll be visiting your live stream. Lucy's going to be live in just a little bit. 7 o'clock my time, which I think will be 12 o'clock Jace's time. I think it'll be 6 o'clock for Lucy. I think Lucy and Shirley, or for Shirley, I think Lucy and Shirley are in the same state. Muhammad says, thank you so much, Yogi. You're welcome, my friend. I hope you are safe. Skid says, have a wonderful walk, my Yogi friend. Have a wonderful Sunday, folks. Love you all. Thank you so much, Skits. Lucy is in Minnesota, the great state of Minnesota. I do like Minnesota. I used to want to live in northern Minnesota. I almost did back in 1983. I did a 31-day outward bound. I did it in North Carolina because I wanted to spend some time caving, as well as climbing and just backpacking, putting a heavy load on my back and walking. Um, but I almost went to Minnesota to do 31 days of dog sledding, mushing. I am told that dogs really enjoy the mushing. Wonder if people ever ask the dog their opinion. I think dogs love to run. Dogs love everything about being a dog. It's been said that greyhounds are the world's fastest or the world's laziest athlete, because they either want to be out running full speed or they want to be asleep on the couch. My thing is, I always try to give all of my animal companions a choice. What do you want to do? If you want to walk, let's get up and walk. If you want to lay on the couch, hey, I'll lay on the couch with you. I can be just as lazy as any greyhound. The dogs love mushing. I wish I could go way back ago, and rephrase that statement that I made. Lisa says, I grew up north, a northern suburb of Minneapolis. I used to live up north, grew up there. It's a beautiful area. I drove up there with a girlfriend back in the 90s, looking for wolves. We did not find any in Minnesota. We heard them when we drove east into Canada and spent 2 days at Algonquin Park. You could do what they called a wolf crawl, where you would drive with a guide and she'd get out in a certain place in the hills and she would howl. And if it was the right spot at the right time, you'd get an echoing reply back. If not, you got back in the van, you drove on, and you tried again and again. Beautiful experience. All right, I gotta go. Shirley says, I had a friend with a team of those dogs, and they love it. They look like they're happy. Hey, Hamada. Welcome, my friend. We're just wrapping things up. I hope to see everyone over hanging out with Lucy in just a short bit. She will go on live. It's an open panel. Going up and hang out with Lucy. Kat says, that's my kind of trip. Yeah, we just went out a wandering. That's right. You got to put the A in front of it. You can go out and wander, but that seems without purpose. But when you're out a wandering, the wandering itself is the purpose. And you're never disappointed. If you're wandering, it sort of implies that you are wandering around and maybe hopeful. If you're wandering, it's the wandering itself that is serving the purpose. Whatever happens is exactly what was supposed to happen. With that in mind, I'm going out and wandering right now for a couple miles. Cody says, thank you for a lovely live and chat. Thank you for help making it lovely and live. Cody, my friend. Muhammad says, hello, my sister, Kat and Jack. Hey, Mary. Mary says, hello, Yogi. Kat says, wandering and howling. Hey, Kat, we can do that anytime. I can't guarantee you anything will reply back. But it's just like prayer. It's just like Rumi said in Love Dogs. When the narrator never heard a reply back when he was praising Allah. And the answer was, it's the howl itself that is the reply. It's the prayer itself that is the reply. Our prayers aren't answered. Prayer is the answer. That's why we're told to pray without ceasing, and also why we're told to pray without an objective other than communion with God. The truest prayer is saying, God, can I receive? It's the utterance of God's name. Cody says, Eric, update. Uh, no unwanted contact. Good, good. Let's hope it stays that way. Just says, if you wander down under, you end up on your knees. And if you show the green things, you always get mushy peas. Have a great walk. Thank you. But do you always get mushy peas? That would be one thing if you did. But now we gotta put in the intent of our own mushing. I think I could accept them easier if nature made them pre-mushed. All right, I'm not going there. Cody says, you may share. So let me think of the best way to describe it, Cody, and I'll share on our next live, our next conversation, because I'm going to bet there'll be questions. Tanya says, Yogi, did you ever eat a mushy pea? No, no mushy pea has ever crossed my lips. It's a solemn vow that I've made. You can think of it as a penance that I gladly pay. I deny myself the mushy pea so that there'll be more mushy peas for those who enjoy. Do I get a thank you? No. All I get is tormented for my unselfishness. Not once has what someone said, I just had like a whole bunch of mushy peas. And I just realized that the only reason I can have all of those mushy peas is because Yogi's not having any. Is a thank you too much to ask for? Obviously, I guess. Jason's laughing. Muhammad says, oh my God, I miss you all so much, guys. Bless you all, my big family. We miss you too, Muhammad. You are always in my thoughts. You and your mom. You and your beautiful, beautiful mom. Have you ever been to a pig roast before? I have been to a pig roast before. I did not enjoy it. Kat says there was a movie. Not not much again. Jace said, you're ace, Eric. Well, thank you. Jace is finally thanking me for my giving up so that the world can celebrate mushy peas. One person had to step up and make that sacrifice. For whatever reason, it was me. Evan says, why didn't you like it? I don't know. It just it struck me as uneasy. Just me. I don't go around the things that I don't like. I don't want to go around and point them out to people and make even the slightest insistent that they don't like it either. I fully accept that I'm weird. I do things my own weird way, but I have no desire, not even a little desire, to say this is the way that my own weirdness should be inflicted upon someone else. I seem personally somewhat sensitive to suffering of animals, and as I don't know how certain animals have ended up in the position they are in, I don't know, maybe it's projection. Probably so. Most of it is. However, I don't want to be witness if I can help it. I don't want to be witness. If you're witness, you're a participant. We live in a participatory universe because it's just the universe. And yes, I know there is suffering. Suffering abounds. It's the whole nature of Buddhism. But I wish to reduce my presence, my own participatory sanction of the suffering, particularly of animals, but of all people, of all beings. Given a choice, and who knows, maybe I'd have a choice. I would be a Buddhistava, that being who is on the precipice of enlightenment, about to take that step, and they look back and they see the suffering of the world and they say, nah, I'm going back to help one more. There's a movie, I can't remember the name of it. True story. The hero, World War II, he wasn't Amish, but he might have been a Quaker. He was someone who, for religious reasons, practiced no violence. But he volunteered World War II. He wanted to be a medic. He wanted to save people in conflict. He refused to carry a gun. He was almost court-martialed, but they allowed him to stay. When he was, Anna says, 100% so agree with you, Yogi. Thank you, Anna. So he was on the front lines, and he was often humiliated. People treated him with contempt, refusing to carry a gun, and the bloodiest conflict in human history. Yet he stayed true to his principles. And during some of the most heated battles, he proved himself. He kept going back, and his prayer, his mantra became, just one more. God, help me save just one more. He was wounded. He was exhausted. He stayed out overnight when everyone else found a place of relative safety, and he kept going out and he kept saving one more person. That is a Buddha Histava. Can I help just one more person? What if we thought about that today? Can I help just one more being? Can I be mindful and not step on a bug? There's no such thing as a small dharma. No such thing as a small purpose. Everything is serving their, its, her, she's purpose. I don't want to interfere. I want to enhance, I want to help, I want to aid, I want to support. And barring all of that, if I'm unable to, I want to love and I want to forgive. That's it. Yeah, see, Evan, I have no need to know of any of that. I've been there. I've worked in a veal farm. I've been a participant. Eyeball deep in the suffering. And I no longer want to, I don't, again, everyone does what everyone does. But I do what I do. And that's enough for me. Be happy and blessed today. Thanks, Jace. I'll be looking for your email. Shirley says, oh, Goldie, is that you, my friend? It is Goldie. Yes, this is Vamps, my only fangs. Thanks for being here, Goldie. Hey, Miss Flipper. Speaking of Minnesota, it is Minnesota, right? It's because y'all trying. It's Sunday. I'm late. I got to get out. The sun's poking through. There's beavers out there awaiting. I love you guys. Love you, Miss Flipper. Gotta go. Thanks, guys.